All right, class is in session, doing another chapter of atomic attraction. This is chapter 47, almost done. We'll probably be done probably Wednesday. Originally thought it'd be today, but maybe Wednesday. We're almost done. Such good content, though, in this atomic attraction. You know, you can go back over all the chapters I've done on my playlist, or even better yet, buy the book, Amazon, or get the on Audible, get the audiobook. It's really good. So, but yeah, so this is great. I mean, great way to be, it's helped me going back through it, right? So anyway, today's chapter is about testing. Women always test. I will have my own opinions on this. The book, obviously the operating, standard of the book, or the operating theme that the book is dealing with, that women always test. It's good to know it, but I think it could be tweaked a little bit. And just like Rollo, shout out Rollo Tomas, he talks about red pill being a praxeology, right? Meaning we can change it at any time. We see that certain trends are not the way it is anymore. We're not stuck. Let's say, let's just be friends. Every guy knows, let's just be friends. I'm not going to be a woman's friend. And we don't want to be a woman's friend, right? We want to be her lover, right? Now, let's say someday we find out, things change, and being her friend actually is the best way to get laid. I'm just saying, we would change it. We're not stuck to a certain, truth if it's not the truth, right? So women always test. That's not the truth. It is the truth for men who are beta. It is the truth for men who are weak. It is the truth for men who aren't the real deal, who haven't really learned game. But if you are the real deal, if you are, if you are dealing with high interest women and no longer dating women that have low interest in you or have moderate interest in you, and again, those are placeholders. But if you're only dealing with high interest women, they won't test you because they like you, They already know that you passed the test. That's why they have high interest in you. Just like if you were to see Drake or Kendrick Lamar, or back in the day, Eazy-E, or Ice Cube. They used to do NWA for all you millennials and Gen Zers. But those guys, if you saw those guys with a $500,000 necklace on, and someone said, "Hey, dude, go up and test some diamonds, see if they're real," you'd be like, "Shut up, bro. That's fucking, they're rappers, dude. Like, they're the real, dude." But if you saw a little 8-year-old, he's, it is Pup Dog the rapper, and he's got a necklace on, Pup Dog the rapper, with a $500,000 necklace, and next year gonna get up to 1 million, You'd be like, "Dude, go test them diamonds, bro. I don't think them $500,000, and you go test them, and it's like, nah, man, they were cubic zirconia. That thing only was like $200, But because it's an 8-year-old rapper called Pup Dog, you ain't never heard of him, he's going to have to prove himself. Now, let's say on the flip side, this is a exaggerated example, made up example to make a point. But if Pup Dog, you went up and tested his diamonds in his necklace and they're real, you're like, well, he's the real deal, though. He can afford $500,000. He can afford a $500,000 necklace. This guy's got some money. Let's see how he raps. Anyway, so if you're not the real deal, she's going to test you. If you feel you're being tested, that woman doesn't think you're the real deal. You're either dealing with a low interest woman, moderate interest woman, or a woman who hasn't been convinced by you yet, and probably not someone you want to deal with. If you're not feeling those tests, then then it's probably the high interest woman. So again, if you're feeling that she's testing you, that's probably not a good woman for you. She doesn't believe in you, or you need to raise your value. You need to raise your sexual market value. All right, women always test. Fire is the test of gold, adversity of strong men. Martha Graham. Fire is a test of gold, adversity of strong man. Martha Graham. Every man who has ever interacted with a woman has at some point in time been tested. Most men are unaware they were undergoing tests from a woman. We're undergoing a test from a woman. And that is true. A lot of guys, when I got into red pill, I had no idea there was something called a shit test. I was like, what? But again, a lot of the beta males in the red pill space were telling us this, right? But because they've never dated a high interest woman, high interest women don't test you. And when you're the real deal, there are a lot of guys in the red pill space that haven't changed themselves. They know the rules, but they don't know how to become an alpha, quote unquote, alpha male, right? On a daily basis. They're testing you on a daily basis. For this reason, So many men fail when it comes to seduction. It is important to understand why women test. At its core, it's a test. A test will reveal weakness in a man. Yes, women are always trying to test your strength. Why? Because sexual relationships are all about human reproduction. I know women don't understand this, and a lot of men don't understand this. But when we're dealing with women, it all has to go back to reproduction. So you have to understand that. It's hard to understand because I just want to get a bang. I just want a banger. Well, why do you want a banger? Your body's telling you that for human reproduction. Anyway, let's see. Or or strength. Yeah, so they're looking for weakness or strength. Testing is not something consciously that women do. Correct. They just know when they see somebody weak and they don't really like them. Let's go back to, again, we're gonna digress a little bit, but this is important. It's a learning moment. I'm gonna digress from the book because it's not something they consciously do. Well, it's not something they consciously do, but when they have someone they're truly interested in, then they don't do it. So it's unconscious when they don't do it. Does that make sense? And it's unconscious when they do it. So women don't even know they do it. Now, as a guy, you can be conscious of what they're doing, and they're testing me. If you're seeing tests coming as a guy, you're like, oh, she thinks I'm weak. Okay, that's kind of the thing. But it is unconscious. It is in their subconscious, meaning, you could tell a woman, you just tested me. She'd be like, what? She doesn't know that she naturally tests for strength. You know what I'm saying? But they do that because they want a strong offspring. It goes back to reproduction. They don't want weak offspring. But if you tell a woman this through logic and reason, women just know that they don't test men that they're really aroused by and they're really into. And, they're really aroused by this guy, but they're aroused by the guy because he's showing strength. He's showing strong genes. He's got a strong jawline. He's got big shoulders. It looks like her kid could be an athlete or a Hulk Hogan with it, So that's why that's what she's thinking when she's aroused. It's all about reproduction, having strong babies. Okay. That women do, but something they are programmed to do since birth. Well, since birth, it's not really programmed. It is something that's in them from evolution. Women who tested had strong babies. Those babies survived. Those babies are still here today over millions and millions of years or whatever, thousands of years of human evolution. The women who did, I'm not going to test. And they got Poindexter, who they're having a baby with, and their little baby dies or whatever, their offspring dies at 15 because he's a wuss or whatever. I'm not trying to be rude. We're just having an academic argument. Well, he's not here anymore. Those offspring are not here anymore. That lineage died out. But the women who learned to test, their evolutionary, they're still here. They kept having strong babies. So now all you got are people who test. That's how this stuff works. Okay, in the same way, the same way babies are imprinted with a fear of snakes, that goes back to evolution. All of us, right? When we smell bad smells, we're like, ugh. That means people who notice bad smells survive. So we're all still here. Our ancestry, thank God, didn't want to get around things that smell because it was decaying. I hate big roaches. Well, big roaches carry diseases. So you probably don't want a big roach crawling on you, crawling on your food. So you survive when you think it's gross, seeing a roach crawling on stuff. Or even little roaches in your house, you might go, oh, get the pest control. Because the people who cared and got grossed out by those, or the person who was scared of a snake, did not let a snake bite them. So it's okay. The feeling of disgust is something, when you taste the food that you think is disgusting, like, ugh, that's a natural reaction because that might be poison, so now you survive. The person's like, ooh, this tastes like crap, I want to still eat it. That could be poison in there. You know what I'm saying? And it goes back to a lot of things like that. It's just natural. And those people are still here through evolution. Okay. So it's not about imprinting, it's evolution. All right. So with the fear of snakes, are imprinted with a need. So women are imprinted allegedly with a need to test. This is a function of evolution. See, that's what I just said. And women's need to, again, reproduce. They're saying pretty much the same thing, a little bit different, with the strongest DNA possible. Yes, that's what women want to do. A test is and that's the strongest DNA possible to them. Okay, some ugly women know they can only get to a certain point. Hypergamy doesn't say I get to bang a hot model. It says I can get to this point and I can't get any better than that. Women know. Women know. Anyway, a test is nature's way of helping a woman find the best mate, her future offspring, for her future offspring. If you pass a woman's test, she is more likely to believe in you, and that you can father strong, healthy children. Correct. That's what she's looking for. The reason why women test, the women test at the core is because it's biology, right? But as you are about to discover, the way women test is anything but simple. I mean, they're women, just like everything. They're not direct, because if they're direct, the women who are direct with men got killed, and they're not here anymore. The women who are indirect and were like, talk crap with glancing blows are more likely to survive. Women who are passive aggressive, more likely to survive. Women who are, that's why it's dumb for women. I'm a boss, but I'll be in your face. I'm going to tell you in your face. Well, you're lucky nowadays because you've got the police and government to protect you. So you might survive, and, evolution has a little bit less of a function in their life. But back in the day, if a woman did that in caveman days, I don't care. She'd be dealt with, and she'd no longer be here. And this is the way it is. So, anyway, case study 34, everything is a test. So case study 34, it's Jason and Amy. They're having a 1-year anniversary, and they go out to a restaurant, and they eat, and it's great, and they bring them dessert, and then they're like, well, do you want a cocktail to finish off your night? And they're like, yeah. And so he gets a pina colada, and she gets a daiquiri, and she hates it. She's like, oh God, this is gross. And she's like, taste it. And he's like, let me see. And he's like, oh damn, that is, whoa. He's like, whoa, that's got too much alcohol in it. So they leave it, right? And they go on drinking their, cocktail, and they say, so they're just, sipping on his, and they're about to leave, and she notices that the daiquiri's still there. And she's like, you're not going to drink the daiquiri? And he's like, no, you said it was gross, and I tasted it is gross. She's like, come on, drink it. And he's like, no way, it's gross. And she's like, if you do, I'll give you the best sex you'll ever have. He's like, really? She's like, yeah, do it. He's like, nah, I don't. She's like, I promise, babe, best sex you'll ever have tonight. He's like, all right, that's a deal. He drinks it all down. He's like, oh my God, that was terrible. But he's driving home, and he's like, dude, I wonder what she gonna do to me. Like, best sex, I wonder how freaky she gonna get. He's in the shower getting all like, oh, and so he gets out, and, he's doing this little sauntering up to her like, oh, here you go, baby. He takes the towel off, and she's like all fetal position, like, and he tries to, like get her attention. He's like, hey, babe, it's time to be freaky. What you gonna do? And she's like, I'm drunk. I can't have sex with you. He's like, what are you talking about? We had a deal. She's like, no, we didn't. He's like, yes, we did. You said if I drank the daiquiri, you'd give me the best sex of my life. She's like, well, now we can't. And he's like, ha, she's just getting around. Yeah, we can. She's like, you're ruining this. He's like, oh my God. He starts getting all mad, and this is ridiculous. And, this is what you always do. And so the next morning she gets dressed, leaves his house early. He's like, where are you going? She's like, oh, I'm just going to, go out with some friends. She actually went out with another guy, and she got with the other guy. So the point of the story is he didn't want to drink the drink. She tested him, see if he was going to be strong enough to hold his ground. You said that drink was gross, but she offered a little sex, and he caved in. You never cave into a woman. And this is things that stuck. This is things that I learned through dating. And I was just telling the guy a story the other day. I ended up getting, it's a crazy story. Not real crazy, but I ended up matching with this lady. It was like a Sunday on a dating app. She wanted to go scuba diving, and I was like, I'm good. So we were like, let's go get some coffee. Let's start off with coffee. And she's like, okay. Well, anyway, the coffee was right around the area of this nice place, park place, and the coffee shop's kind of small. So I was like, let's just meet like right down the street at the park. I'll go grab the coffee. You'll meet me over at the little park place. And she was like, cool. Well, an hour later, she wants to change it to the Starbucks where I was going to get the coffee. I said, no, we'll go to the park. Well, point is I can't change it at that point. And I told my buddy, I was telling this is a story a while back, way back, and I was trying to instruct him because he's trying to learn how to date too now. He's a younger man, and I'm like, you cannot change the location. If doesn't matter. She's not aware of. I can't change it. I cannot. I said it was here. You got to stay strong. So meaning in this Jason and Amy with this drink, you cannot let a woman run you. If you let a woman run you, she's going to lose attraction for you because a woman knows if you can be run by her, and we had this in other chapters, you can be run by other people, okay? So anyway, most cases marks a different turning point in the relationship. It's the moment a woman... that's the wrong... No, sorry. That's the wrong shit. All right, Jason, Amy, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. That was notes from another chapter. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Jason, Amy, 1 year anniversary. So I got that. Okay. So I'm just going through the case study. Let's get rid of this. Okay. When a woman withdraws from the relationship, it is crucial to see her behavior for what it is. A refusal to answer your messages or return your phone calls. You must not let insecurity and get the best of you. Yes, you must not let your insecurity get the best of you when she or panic. Yeah, you must not let insecurity and panic get the best of you when she's testing you with withdrawing from her messages aren't coming as fast. She's not talking to me as much. Well, there's nothing you can do, and that's the hard part of this dating stuff. You got to stay strong and do nothing. And the silence is deadening. Trust me. And you can be okay with saying this kind of sucks. Now you should have an abundant life, should have a fulfilling life, should have a well-rounded life, and not that let that stuff bother you. But again, it will. It's done. I've had those days where it's like, damn, this sucks, man. She's not calling. Her messages are coming. There's nothing I can do. And the silence from your phone is going to be deadening. But you got to be able to endure. You got to be able to look at it with indifference. You got to know you're okay. You got to know that you can find another girl if you need to. Fight through the uncertainty, right? Because anything you do will be seen as weakness, okay? Instead, you must display strength and indifference, correct. And women, dude, that's the thing about indifference. It's tough, especially when you're uncertain and you want a certain behavior to happen. But you have to understand, women, what's the word? But indifference from a man or whatever, someone they like, they gotta like you. Your indifference is intoxicating to them, But it's hard sometimes, Now, if they don't like you, that's the thing. If they don't like you and you're indifferent, they don't care. They don't care. So understand, if you were indifferent and it was a bad outcome to, well, now you're not getting any messages. Well, she didn't care. And so your indifference, made her, basically take off, right? Okay, so, and indifferent and not step out of your comfort zone. You must step out of your comfort zone and embrace uncertainty. In that humans hate uncertainty, women especially, but we all hate uncertainty, right? A woman might not get in touch with you for a period of time. Regardless of the length of time, you must have the strength of character. You must have the strength of character until she calls you. Until she calls, right? Until she calls you. Sorry, once again couldn't read my writing. That's all right. We'll keep going. The bitch test. This is the bitch test. When a woman intentionally acts rude, or disrespectful, she is trying to get a measure of your strength. What is known as the bitch test? This is known as the bitch test. So when she's acting rude or disrespectful on purpose, they do that. But again, this won't be done if she has high interest in you. She ain't going to give you the bitch test because she'll be scared that you're going to take off. The bitch test is for guys that she has moderate interest in, that she has low interest in, and she thinks maybe, like a lot of other guys, because I've said it before, is most other guys before you have lied to her. So if she has high interest in you, though, she'll give you excuses and let you pass many, you'll end up passing her test through her own excuses, her own reasons. You're going to rationalize why, he's this, he's that, how many times have you seen a girl with a loser, and you're like, well, just ask him this, just go tell him this. And that's that you because you're trying to tell her how to test them. Like, oh, that's my buddy, or that's not your buddy. And you'd be like, oh, I know that guy. He's from blah blah blah. He's from 15th Street. That guy, dude, that guy's a loser, man. He was, he was like beat up by a chicken one time. Really? He said he was a Navy SEAL. That guy ain't never been in a Navy SEAL. And so you go ask him, go task him some Navy SEAL stuff or whatever. And she might like him so much, he may be so sexually, appeasing to her appealing to her that she ain't gonna test him. She kind of knows he gonna fail. You were right, and he gonna fail that Navy SEAL test. And so we get mad when like maybe a loser guy, she never tested him. Why? High interest, high sexual arousal for her. So those guys don't get tested. So understand, once again, if you're getting tested, she probably don't like you that much. In this situation, a woman might attack your masculinity. Yes, they will do that. I've done that. We've all dated women that didn't have high interest in us. And I say it's one of the biggest problems in the Western American society is we date women that aren't don't have enough interest in us. Okay. Ways that she knows, she attacks you in ways she knows will get under your skin. She might try to provoke you. She might use any method she can do to rattle you. Yes, she will. Make fun of your clothes, make fun of your height, make fun of your weight. Make fun of your strength. She might have a comment about, of your physical strength. Yeah, that's one. Your ego, about the amount of money you make. Oh, you can't afford that. That's a lot of guys, oh, yes, I can. Or if you are short, she may make a short joke. These comments are designed to expose you and find out if you are confident or insecure. There is no point of arguing. Correct. Let's say a guy is trying to display, that he's rich or being well-to-do. Even let's say just, say you want to, say that you got a little bit of cash, and you like it that women think you got a little bit of cash, a girl might go, past some nice apartments, be like, oh, you can't live. You're like, oh, those are nice. And you're like, oh, yeah, I like those. I thought about living there. And then she'll go, you can't afford those, little boy, or something like that, And you'd be like, yes, I can. Oh, absolutely. You want to see my paycheck? No, you failed the test. Even if your paycheck said you could, the fact that you argued about it, she was trying to get under your skin. And a lot of times women will attack how much money you make, A lot of girls trying to finesse guys to get them to pay their bills. Oh, Roger was going to pay for my rent, but, he can only do half, I know you don't have the money and you don't make that much, but if you could, I wish you could pay the whole thing. Roger can't, And you'd be like, that gets the guy's ego. Yes, I can. I like, Anyway, don't defend yourself with logic or reason. We always talk about that. Women are not impressed by logic and reason. Like I said, you can show her paycheck. I can afford these apartments. You just said I couldn't live in these. Here's my check. She'd be like, what a clown. All right. Women are awesome at uncovering your weakness. Yes, they're very skilled at uncovering weaknesses in men. I've said this, and they're very skilled. Women know social dynamics better than you do. That's one of my videos. Women know power dynamics better than you do. It's one of my videos. They know betas. They know. And most guys are betas that they date. So they're going to assume you're a beta, Once a woman finds a chink in your armor, she will attack you. Because she's found that chink of armor, she will attack you. She will continue to attack you. A lot of men assume. A lot of men lie, and they assume a tough guy persona, only to fall apart once a woman starts testing. Tons of women. Tons of guys how many you seen on the internet? How many times we seen on social media? Oh man, I'll mess him up. Oh man, that guy come in my face, I'll mess him up. And then they're like, oh man, he wasn't there, man. We couldn't have the fight because I had a bad hamstring. Yeah, whatever. We all know. Most guys talk a bunch of BS. All right, when you face rude and disrespectful behavior, it is important to handle it the right way. Instead of showing anger, it's better to keep a cool head and walk away. Yes, a lot of guys and dating coaches will say, you gotta check her. You gotta check her. Well, a girl that has high interest in you, a girl that respects you, will never show you disrespectful or rude behavior because she knows that's inappropriate. Now, let's say she accidentally does it. You don't have to walk away. You just say, hey, you let her know that, hey, that's disrespectful and you're not going to deal with that. So don't do that. Don't say don't do that again. Just say, I don't deal with that type of behavior. I'm not going to deal with it. So now she knows, all right? And explain to her what she did, whatever. She might not know. If she has high interest in you, she won't know what she did. All right. Let's see. What is this? All right. The jealousy test. Okay, here we go. The jealousy test. This is a yes. Women will say, "Oh, talk to Roger today at work. God, he kept, saying how good my dress looked." And so she's trying to get you angry. Women use jealousy to expose weakness, yes. Or she'll be like, "Oh, me and Brad, we had such a good time last week. Oh my God, so funny at work." And, they're trying to bring men into it, kind of leaving it ambiguous if they're, All right, women use jealousy to expose weakness and test men. Women start off by, innocently talking about another man. See, yep, who may or may not have shown her interest, right? The instinct to mate guard, yes, we are big mate guarders, but you're not a big mate guarder if you know who the hell you are. You have options. This ain't the last woman in the world, and you think about yourself first. You don't need to mate guard. And anyway, mate guarding is just going to turn a woman off. So, but a lot of guys do, a lot of insecure guys will mate guard. This triggers strong feelings of jealousy. Well, if you show jealousy, you're done for. So if you feel like you're going to be jealous and you let her know you're jealous, now you're done for. Women are looking for one thing with jealousy. Test your reaction to the situation. A jealousy test should be should be handled by indifference or with a comic relief. Yeah, oh, you talk about Brad again? Girl, how many times you gonna talk about dudes, man? You wasting my time. I ain't got time to listen to your man stories, So anyway, or whatever. What's your deal with talking about Brad? That dude's a dork, whatever, or something better than that. But, you're just kind of laughing about it. Can you not talk about Brad again? I got shit to do, girl, I'm trying to work out, damn, whatever. But just be indifferent to it, Let's see. Okay, so, a woman will always, so love rivals will always exist, right? The attractive man doesn't concern himself, and I've said this in other stuff, is a woman, if you're dating a pretty woman, she's getting offers. You can't worry about that. You gotta know, and you gotta have the burden of performance to be the best thing you can every day. So you can't worry about rivals, When you meet a woman for the first time, the woman does not know whether you are strong or weak. Yes, stable or unstable. That's correct. Or insecure, even though she might like your company and find you physically attractive, she will not know your true strength until she has tested you. Every time you pass a woman's test, you get a step closer to having your value, to raising your value. You must view a test as a healthy challenge. Eliminate weak responses from your life. Yes, but as we've said, you don't have to raise your value if she already sees you as high value. So that's why you only deal with high interest women. I'm not going to raise my value. If she doesn't know, it's too late. I'm just sorry. This is what it is. You must be yourself. You must, as yourself, behaving in a way that is insecure, or so you must act as being.